Welcome to Conversations Live. For more than a decade, we've brought you the best in books, entertainment, celebrity interviews, and current events. When the movers and shakers of the world have something to say to you, they say it to us first. Here's your host, Cyrus Webb.
And welcome back, everyone, to Conversations Live. I'm your host, Cyrus Webb. Glad you all could join us once again. But for our radio audience here in Mississippi at WYAD 94.1 FM and WYADonline.com, we're glad that you all could be with us. Also, tuning in to our friends at iHeartRadio and Amazon Music Podcast. We're glad you all could be with us as well. This is part of our news you can use here at WYAD. Today, we're talking about colorectal cancer. More than 52,000 people are expected to die from colorectal cancer in the U.S. this year, according to the American Cancer Society. And colorectal cancer, or CRC, is the third most common cancer in America, with roughly 151,000 cases each year. But did you know that there are tests that you can be able to do to see if it's something that is genetic for you, and also to find out about treatment options as well? We're here to talk to us more about that. We're excited to welcome Moshkevich to our program. Solomon is the General Manager of Oncology at Natera. We're going to talk to Solomon not only about what you all need to know when it comes to the testing, but also who's at the most risk as well. Solomon, thank you so much for the time. Really appreciate it.
Good to be here, Cyrus. Thank you.
So this is something I think that is really of interest for our audience now that we are getting back out there, Solomon, definitely, hopefully, getting our screenings, checking in with our doctor. Is it easy to find out if you have an inherited CRC gene or not?
Right, so it should be easy. There are blood tests available through Natera's laboratory that can tell people if they have inherited a gene that can give increased risk for colorectal cancer. About 5 to 10% of all colorectal cancers are linked to an inherited gene, and the most common form of that is something called Lynch Syndrome. Now, people can find out if they have one of those genes by doing a blood test. You get the results in about 1 to 2 weeks, and that should be covered by insurance for people with a family history of the disease. But even if you don't have or don't know about a family history, there are affordable testing options to find out if you or a loved one may have inherited one of those genes. You can talk to your doctor. It gets ordered by the physician from Natera.
So let me ask you, Solomon, who is at most risk for CRC? I mean, we hear about, of course, cancers all the time, but when it comes to CRC, who is it that is most at risk?
CRC is usually a disease associated with age, traditionally people over the age of 50. However, recently there has been an alarming trend of younger and younger people being diagnosed with CRC. The screening age has recently been lowered to 45 for people to start getting colonoscopies. However, for people who are found to have inherited risk for CRC, screening can start much earlier, in the early to mid-20s. And that's important because earlier detection makes a difference and is the best chance that someone has at a cure, at beating the disease. So I recommend everyone talk to their doctor, get tested. And for those who have been diagnosed with CRC or know somebody who has, there is a new technology available that's very important that can help detect recurrence as early as possible and, again, give someone the best chance at a cure.
As we're talking about these conversations with our Dr. Solomon, I do want to ask you, I mean, a lot of times, of course, people wonder what should they be asking about. So what should myself or my loved ones discuss with our physician when it comes to things like CRC or even other cancers?
Right. That's a very important question. Everyone needs to arm themselves and go in and ask the right questions from their physicians. So let's talk about people who have been diagnosed with cancer. We're mainly talking about CRC, but this is true for almost any cancer type. Now, it's important to ask your doctor, what can I do to catch a recurrence of the cancer as early as possible? And there is a new test called Signatera that's offered by Natera's laboratory that looks for traces of tumor DNA that will not be visible on a scan, but are visible to Natera's laboratory. And that's because Natera uses a special new approach that can detect traces of that tumor DNA in a sample of blood. So this is a simple blood test, and it is customized for every single patient to only look for traces of that patient's tumor that they were previously diagnosed in their body. That can detect recurrence on average 9 months earlier than a scan, but up to 2 years earlier. And that gives incredible peace of mind to most people who will never recur. But for those whose cancer is destined to recur, you want to find out as early as possible. And that test is also covered by Medicare for people who've been diagnosed with CRC.
Great information, and as always, we always talk about here, early detection is definitely the key, and arming yourself with information is so important. Again, everyone, Solomon Moshkevich has been our guest. He's the General Manager of Oncology and Natera. Talk with us about not only, of course, the importance of getting this testing done, genetic testing, but also who's most at risk, and how Natera is being able to help to be able to arm you with the information that you need. Solomon, where can our audience go for more information?
Right. Thank you. People should visit Natera.com, Natera.com. Find out more. Talk to your doctor. Protect yourself. Get tested.
Well, Solomon, thank you so much for sharing this information. Really appreciate it. And looking forward to having you back on the program again.
Thank you very much.
You're more than welcome. And we thank you, our audience, for tuning in to another great segment of Conversations Live, part of our News You Can Use segment here at WYAD 94.1 FM and WYADonline.com. Until next time, I'm your host, Cyrus Webb, saying, as always, enjoy your day, enjoy your life, enjoy your world. Thank you all for choosing Conversations Live. Now let's go make today amazing. Take care.